Welcome to the midweek edition of Racing to Win. Being the midweek, it's Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Previewing on the show this week, the countdown is right on to international races in Hong Kong. But before we get there, the boys are in the studio to look at Wednesday night. Paul, Hollie, Nick Child. And Nick, that last race is a cracker.
Yeah, it certainly is, Mark. Yeah, look, I can't wait for it, actually. There's a horse in here, trained by John Size, who was vastly improved last season, called How Deep Is Your Love. He is back in action, and I can assure you he will run a big race come Wednesday night.
He's had a number of trials, has How Deep Is Your Love. Paul Hollie is here as well. Can you spice it up with some jackpots?
I can. There's a triple trio, 1.6 million going to that, so that should get over to the 4 million mark, and also 1.2 million going to the third double trio. So that should get over the 3 million mark, and that's on races 5 and 6. So a couple of good ones. Not many first starters. I think there's one or two in there. One maybe, is there?
One has raced overseas, Saruga Bay and Sight Victory.
Yeah, the two in total. Yep.
His racing debut. We're going back to Happy Valley. No, we're not. We're going back to Sha Tin this morning now, where the trials were on, and a couple of decent horses performed in this trial. Nick, it's over the 1,600 metres. We'll hear more from you boys shortly. We'll pick up Tom's call of Romantic Warrior and Golden 60.
Golden 60 right on the tail of Romantic Warrior, and 4 back to Butterfield last. They're well on the straight, 300 metres left to go. Moments in time, Helene Feeling, and on the outside, Romantic Warrior. So it's the Danny Shum trio, followed 2 lengths away by Golden 60, and then came Little Fairy. The other two are beaten off. It's Romantic Warrior, who's moved up, taken the lead off stablemate Helene Feeling, who's fighting back. Romantic Warrior, Helene Feeling, very tight. It's between the stablemates, Romantic Warrior for J-Mac and Helene Feeling, and Golden 60 at them late for third.
That was over 1,600 metres, Nick. What we didn't see in that trial, they went very, very slow early.
Yeah, and look, if you get opportunity to go and have a look back at it, it's well worth doing so, because as you say, they didn't get much of a pace. But I thought both horses pulled trialled really well, and Golden 60 closed off quite nicely.
A good blowout for both. I think that was the key. I mean, how did Romantic Warrior travel back? That was a chance for him to sort of really stretch out and have a good blowout afterwards. So he's had that trip now, so he has to get back and then do it again in December.
We will see them a week on Sunday, but some of the best jockeys in the world hit town a week on Wednesday.
They walk amongst us, a special breed, battling for greatness. This December, the Longines International Jockeys Championship.
And delighted to be joined on Racing to Win now by two of the stars of world racing, defending champion Tom Marquand and Hollie Doyle, live from Japan. Guys, thanks for joining us here on Racing to Win.
Not at all. Great to be on, and obviously pretty exciting week ahead now.
Let's just go back to last weekend first. You both rode in the Japan Cup in Tokyo. No luck behind Equinox. What is he like to ride against, and did you see much of him in the run?
Yeah, he's just incredibly superior, isn't he, in comparison to the rest of the field. You know, he's a horse of a lifetime, and you know, all credit to Christoph. You know, there's a huge amount of pressure. He's, you know, an icon in Japan.
Tom, you rode Studley in the race. For his price, he probably overachieved, didn't he, finishing where he did?
Yeah, 100%. Look, obviously, he went in at, I think it was like 530 to 1 or something, and to run 8th, obviously he finished just behind Hollie's horse, who was last year's winner. It was a real good run, and look, I suppose when you're going in on a horse that big, you just want to run as well as you possibly can, and maximise everything they've got. And look, we got a good trip round, and he ran a solid race. So look, there was no beating Equinox, but it was pretty special just to be part of a race like that. And you know, I think he's proven himself as the world's best racehorse on ratings. Well clear, and I mean, you can see why just with that acceleration and the ease in which he did it all.
Let's look ahead now to next week. We're a week away from IJC. You'll both be back in Hong Kong. And Tom, you're the defending champion. It was a very close fought battle 12 months ago. Yeah,
it was. Obviously, ended up sharing it with Sylvester, which was great. So he was ridden a lot with him back home. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a clear shot at taking it for myself this time only.
You two have got amongst the best jobs in the world. You get to ride at all the top race meetings. Hollie, coming to Happy Valley on a Wednesday night, is there a meeting that you compare to it? And what's it like riding the smaller circuit here in Hong Kong?
Yeah, there's nothing really back at home that's comparable to Happy Valley. I don't think there's anywhere in the world really that compares to it. But no, the atmosphere is incredible, and we're just very lucky to have been invited back, really. We've both been very lucky in Hong Kong and around Happy Valley. I don't think we've walked away without a winner, but touch wood, hopefully we can have a bit of luck this time.
You're in Japan at the moment, both of you. Is there something in your plans down the track that perhaps you'd like to do a longer stint in Hong Kong than, say, a Wednesday night and a feature meeting at the same time?
Yeah, I think, look, obviously it's on the cards for at some point down the line. Obviously I've been fortunate to have a couple of horses bring me over for the Sunday, obviously, and then also Dubai Honor came over after his stint in Australia, sort of into the new year. So look, I'm sure we'll be spending some time in Hong Kong, more than just 2 or 3 days at a time at some point.
Hollie, you're not the only female again this year. Rachel King, who's been doing great things in Australia's riding, and yet another UK member like you and Tom will be at the Valley.
Yeah, no, it's great that Rachel's coming over. She's had a fantastic year back in Australia, and she actually came over to Japan for the Jockey Challenge here and did very well. So it's great to be riding with her.
Tom, superstar names at Happy Valley next Wednesday night too. How do you prepare to ride on horses you've largely never ridden before against best jockeys in the world that you have ridden against?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think that's half the beauty in the meeting. You know, you're coming over and having to adapt your style pretty quick, and it's a sharp evening. You know, you've got some of the world's best jockeys, as you say, riding, and you know, there's not an inch given, but it's super fair, hard racing, which is you know, it's how all jockeys want to ride and want to be sort of ridden against. So it's a real treat to be there again, as Hollie said, and yeah, we're just looking forward to what's always an exciting evening.
How do you do your form for a race meeting like this, Hollie? Do you discuss things with Tom, because obviously you're married but riding very competitively against each other? Do you go your own separate ways? Do you have your own little rooms you go into to do your preparation?
We tend to just keep ourselves to ourselves, really. We both do things very differently, and when you're travelling around the world, you just want to leave, you know, no stone unturned, really. And thankfully, the Hong Kong Jockey Club, everything's very accessible, you know, the form, the replays and everything like that. So that's a really big help.
You're not sticking around for the Sunday. There's some big racing coming up in Japan. So it's just a very quick trip for both of you this time.
Yeah, that's it. We're contracted to be back in Japan for the weekend racing here, but we'll try and make the most of it.
Absolutely delighted to have you both on the show. Thank you so much for your time here on Racing to Win, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday night.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Cheers.
Super to have Tom and Hollie as part of Racing to Win. Looking forward to the 6th of December for IJC night at Happy Valley. Before we get there, though, we have 8 races coming up this week at the City Circuit. That's what it's going to look like on Wednesday night. C+3 course, 8 turf races, which means it's a later start of 10 minutes past 7 o'clock. And the 2 races we look at, races 7 and 8, Class 3, 1800, Class 2, 1200 metres. The 7th, and we've got Chulchibi, first time over 1800 metres, 8 extra pounds, but he's absolutely flying. Escape Route is up in distance, as is Romantic Lau. Lean Heroes 1 for 1 at the trip. SJ Torbjorn, he won off a rating of 64 over the 1800 metres in June. Crossover Noseband is on Big Red. We've got Saruga Bay making his debut in Hong Kong, and Fran Tank is coming back from the 2000 to the 1800. Field of 10 here, Nick, from the top of the home straight, and Fran Tank and Majestic Victory roll forward.
Yeah, look, I think they should. Obviously, Fran Tank, we saw that evidently with him last time out. He went forward. That was over a mile and a quarter at Sha Tin. Obviously, didn't manage to last it out. So back in trip and back to Happy Valley. Look, Majestic Victory, I don't think will be too far away. Lean Hero, I think from gate 8 will probably race somewhere closer to the pace. And Romantic Lau's another one, Paul, who's drawn well.
Yeah, he's drawn nicely. Look, Big Red's led in the past as well, but he's been sort of taking a sit recently, and Saruga Bay shown a little bit of pace in this trial, so maybe they'll be jostling for a bit of positions in the midfield there.
And as the speed map, our first replay, Nick, features a horse that is absolutely flying and winning numerous races in a row, is in vogue in Hong Kong at the moment. And can Chilchibi keep that up here in race number 7?
Yeah, look, I think he can. Look, I mean, he's very interesting in the respect that he's going up in trip, and you can see him there darting down to the inside. That was a canny bit of riding, actually, from Jerry Chow, who knows the horse really well. Look, he's in form. He's gone up 7 pounds officially, so he's got to carry a decent old weight, but I think there's plenty more still to come, Paul.
Yeah, look, he's won both those races off a fast pace, so he's won them really nicely. As such, look, it depends how this race has been run. I think there's going to be pace in this race as well, so it should suit him, and he's only been beaten once.
No concern over 1800?
No, the way he finishes off, I think he'll be fine.
He's rider Jerry Chow has a very good book of rides, Paul, and that's what he's done over the last 4 meetings. 1 in 4 pretty much finishing in the top 3. What about Wednesday nights?
Yeah, obviously Chilchibi's going to be his main sort of ride there. 8 trigrams. Look, he's well rated, 8 trigrams. Kasapapa up in trip. Exuberant's been racing very well recently, but he'll get back, and Sompak Fu's in a really tough race to finish.
Yeah, look, I think that there's plenty of them in there amongst the chance. Obviously, the last 2 on that second graphic certainly have strong claims.
Yeah. If you'd like to hear from Jerry, there'll be an interview on the website hkjc.com. Click on audio and video, and race number 7. Here's the horse with the extravagant neck action, Nick, lean hero, but it's very effective.
It is, and you know, he's quite unique actually. When you watch him, once he sort of gets down to the business end of a race, he just dips the head and he sort of lowers the neck, and he has got that unique way of going, but it's probably helped him actually in a couple of close finishes. So, nice horse, continues to improve.
He does, and he's 1 for 1 over the 1800. It could be the omen, but he's by Morris, and of course this is when Morris always shined in Hong Kong at HKIR. So, look, I see no reason why he can't win again.
Gallant Hero, Paul, this was a great ride from Brenton Avdulla. Unbeaten over the 1800 metres. Now this horse in 2 goes, but he does come up in grade. Yeah,
that's the first time up into this class as well. So it's just how he can handle the rise in grade up to class 3. The stable's going really well at the moment, and he's drawn nicely at barrier 2, but he won't take advantage of it. He goes back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, he's improving all the time. I remember when he started off his career in Hong Kong, he was a bit like that sort of that wayward child. He was doing a lot wrong, but he's really come of age now.
He has, and we're off to Chung Fa now, Nick, for a trial with the Majestic Victory, who's coming off a good performance, narrowly beaten last time. And what have you made of Suruga Bay since he's been here?
Yeah, look, not too bad at all, really. Quite likely raced horse from Australia. Did win over the mile there, so you'd think this sort of trip or a roundabout it would suit. Draws well, which I think could be crucial. Haven't minded the trials really. I think they've been passable for sure. And you know, as for the other horse in the trial here, Paul, I thought he's gone along okay as well. So both of them have claims.
Yeah, look, Suruga Bay, he's had the 5 trials, but he hasn't trialled at Happy Valley, so it's just a little query under the lights.
All right, that's a look at some of the runners in race number 7. He's more... Well, he's hot at the moment. He's more chilly-chibi than chill-chibi at the moment, Paul, but can he win again? Yeah,
I think he can. Look, he's up and trip. But the 2 wins have both been, off, as I said, they've been fast-paced, so he's had the races run to suit. But there's no reason why this one won't be as well. So he's on top, Lean Hero in there for second. Romantic Lau's got a good draw, and Big Red, I think, is going to get a really nice sort of midfield run as well. And Jack Purton aboard. 1-5-3-7.
Yeah, also going with the top weight here, Chilchibi, who's actually been working recently with Romantic Warrior. So he's been working well with a very good one. And his race form is also very good as well. Lean Hero in for second will give his running here. Romantic Lau goes in. He's holding his form nicely there. A Majestic Victory, I think, also has to be included. So 1, 5, 3 and 4.
He's got a great picket fence, does Chilchibi, next to his name, and that is expected to continue. We'll take a break here on Racing to Win. Back to look at an excellent race number 8 right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win, previewing Happy Valley on Wednesday night. It's time now for Paul's last run reminder.
Yeah, race 6, number 5 here. Exuberant is the horse we're going to have a look at. Look, he was here in the red. You can see him go so wide on the turn. And he really stayed on really well here. He was just beaten ahead in the end. It was a really good run from this horse. He's been putting them together recently. They did go slightly quicker than standard, so he was entitled to do it. But the way he finished off, and he just missed out on the bob here. So a really good run from Exuberant. I think he'll go a big race. And race 6, number 5, well done there, mate.
Thank you, Paul. Hurt a bit to get up. Anyway, up we go to a withdrawal for race number 8 because we're going to preview the last reward smile. Number 10 unfortunately has come out. He would have just added to what is already a really good field. It's the Aileen Castle handicap over the 1200 metres and season's wit, first time at the distance. How Deep Is Your Love having his first start this season, rewarding together 5-time course and distance winner, as is Nordic Dragon, as is Stonpak Fu. Majestic Night, last start win over the 1000, very impressive. Goko wins second time at Happy Valley, and Wonder Kit has his first look at Class 2 Nick. Now, who are the big winners and who might need some luck on this speed map?
Well, Majestic Night is a horse that's more than likely to go forward. He's obviously got Angus Chung on once again, so with weight coming off, good draw, always a combination for a bit of pace, and we know he likes to run that way. Now, Season's Wit, he's in great form, but he's drawn 11. This is the C+3 course, so he might get caught out a little bit on the wing. Wonder Kit drawn underneath him. How Deep Is Your Love back in action, draws well here, Paul, in 1. So I reckon he might be able to slot into a pretty good spot early.
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, the million-dollar question is what Season's Wit's going to do. Like, because he's up from 1,000 to 1,200. Does he go forward with that pace, or do they take the risk of him pulling and going to the back? So those are the question there. Nordic Dragon, now he's led in the past, but I think he'll slot in. He was been unlucky last time.
We'll get the boys' thoughts on race number 8 in a little more depth shortly. Firstly, though, Nick was at Shard 10 earlier today to talk to the trainer of Majestic Night. It's Douglas White.
Douglas White, your horses are racing extremely well at the moment. You've got a nice horse running on Wednesday night by the name of Majestic Night, who got the job done in no uncertain terms last time.
Yeah, he probably was a really deserved winner. He's been knocking at the door. He's been a bridesmaid a few times. Not his fault. He's been running genuinely well. But, yeah, look, I think last time he got a few things going his way and he won convincingly.
I guess as racing people and horsemen and women, we do sometimes like to make sort of, not hard luck stories as such, but, you know, the unlucky horse, or he's been a bit unlucky. But your fellow certainly actually was the epitome of that last season, I feel, given how well he was running without winning.
Yeah, he as I said, he was a victim of circumstances and unluckiness, gates and unlucky runs in races and those sorts of things, but he got it all together last time.
He did indeed. That was over 1,000. Now, you're going up in trip this time. I don't imagine that holds any fears, given he has one over 6 furlongs.
Yeah, the 6 furlong is probably better for him. There's a lot of pressure in the thousands, but he was carrying a lot of weight and he was always vulnerable the last part in the 1200. So I brought him back in trip, and he needed a soft kill, which he got. He steps up to the 12 now. He steps up in grade with a light weight. It's a pretty competitive race, so he's got his work cut out. He'd have to improve. But he's maintained his form.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You say, obviously, an easy sort of kill, but, I mean, the form's worked out well. Humble Stars come out and won, so the form is holding up.
Yeah, the form's holding up well, but he needed that. He needed to win convincingly and get some confidence into him and pump his chest out of it. So I say a soft kill. Look, he won well, but the form is stacking up.
Logical move to keep Angus on, obviously taking a valuable few pounds off?
I think so. Goes up in class, a lightweight, an extra 5 pounds off. He's got a few favours for him.
I mentioned the horses are in good form. There's a double over the weekend. Obviously, good old Apex Top turns up and wins his races in turn. But Mr. Dapper, tell me about him. He looks like quite a nice horse going forward.
I think he is. He's only had 3 runs, and obviously I thought his first 2 runs were pretty eye-catching. His first run in particular. I don't run horses often first up over that trip. He's a horse that looks like he wants further now. There's even 2,000. So I think he's a nice progressive 4-year-old.
Douglas White there with Nick. We move on, Paul. We spoke about Season's Wit in the speed map. Here he is winning last time, had a perfect trip. 16 extra pounds on his back this week too.
And yeah, that's the problem. And he's up in trip to 1,200, and he's got the pace because he managed to sit in just in behind. So maybe they will try and get outside the leader or slot in. Very impressive winning this race, no question. This is a good field though, and he's going for 5 in a row. Not many horses do it, but I Give managed 2 in the weekend.
Yeah, he did indeed, didn't he? And look, this horse is in very good form. The draw, the concern, obviously the extra weight as well, but he clearly is going in the right direction.
There's a cast of thousands in this replay, Nick. You can see there is arrows everywhere. Looks like an archer's field. Who are you taking out of this one?
Yeah, I'm glad you gave me this one, Mark. Yeah, look, I suppose the winner, look, Stonpak Fu, winning the race obviously was very good. Bundle of Charm, not a million miles away as well. Let's focus on Benno Jung's horse. I mean, he's now a Class 2 winner, beating Bundle of Charm and Co in this race. And I love the way he's levelled off and really finished off strongly, Paul. He's got a great winning attitude.
Yeah, he has. Very unlucky horse there was Nordic Dragon on the inside, so he got stopped at a vital time, and they don't know where he would have finished. Don't go Wyndon wasn't the worst. He's going to get the pace to suit on Wednesday night.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be a difficult mission to narrow this down to 4. We'll find out soon, because some of the other contenders, Wonder Kit Paul, he's been scorching around Happy Valley.
He's been enjoying himself here. He's drawn nicely in barrier 4, comes in with a light weight. Lyle Hewitson should get him into a lovely position from that barrier draw. And he's another good chance. I mean, he's a last start winner, and this was quite an impressive win.
Yeah, have a look at his form from 2 back. He beat Never Too Soon, who's come out in Frank Nat form as well. Course and distance suits well. Up in grade is always the concern, but then some people will tell you that perhaps you want him going up in grade and not down.
Absolutely. So that was Wonder Kit. Now, How Deep Is Your Love, Nick? This is his most recent trial. John Size, Brenton Avdella, barrier number 1. He struck a very hot field to resume in, but we know he's well above average.
He's pretty good, this guy, in fairness to him. He's a son of Deepfield. He's had 12 starts, 4 wins, 3 seconds, 2 thirds. He actually obviously went from the opening mark of 52 to 96 last campaign. That takes a little bit of doing, and he loves this course and distance. 149 days off the track, Paul. I think he can be ready to go first time, and I like the trials.
Yeah, I mean, the only little concern I've got is John Size's horses sometimes do take a run, and it took him 3 runs to win on his opening campaign. So that was just my little niggling doubt.
Okay, that is the replays for race number 8. How long did you have to ponder to come up with the top 4 here?
Yeah, it took a while, didn't it? There were some really good races. I think there's value all around in this race. There are a few of them are going to come up a little bit shorter, but I think Majestic Knight from the front, we know he's going to be in front, and we know he's going to be out of trouble. So if you get 9, 10 about Majestic Knight, I think you're doing very well. Nordic Dragon was really unlucky at his last start, as we saw. How Deep Is Your Love? Look, he did run 3rd fresh up last time. And Sompak Fu, the last start winner, just keeps winning. 8-4-2-5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with How Deep Is Your Love in this. Hopefully he is ready to go first time, but I certainly take on board Paul's comments there, and he is a horse certainly worth following this season regardless. Season's Witten for 2nd in form, but a bit more in his dish this time in. Sompak Fu's racing really well. We've got to give him a chance. And Majestic Knight, look, this is tougher, but he's in very good form, and I'm sure he can run a race in this. 2, 1, 5 and 8.
There you have it, all of the selections for race number 8. So we've seen race 7, we've seen race number 8 on the show. Paul, does your best bet figure in the last 2, or we're going earlier on the program?
Going to go earlier, actually one race earlier, race number 6, Watch Buddy. We'll have a look at his trial shortly, and here you can have a look at it now. You can see him, that's How Deep Is Your Love down the outside as we speak, but Watch Buddy did what he had to do. Now on the map he's going to get a perfect run, I thought, just in behind the pace. I don't think it's an overly strong race. I think he can get a good first run on them, and he can win. So Watch Buddy is going to be the best. And the long shot will do it. They won Majestic Knight in front. Hopefully we get 9 or 10 about him. He'll go straight to the front and be out of trouble. Gets a little claim as well. And the play we'll do in the race in between, race 7, 1 we talked about, Chill Chibi, Romantic Lau, Lean Hero, 135 QQP.
Yeah, best bet for me coming up on Wednesday night, race 7, number 1, Chill Chibi. Spoken about him at length. Really decent horse, this. And have a look at this for a bit of race riding there. Jerry Chow, look, he took the gap when it appeared. Obviously, there was plenty of racing room on the inside, but he made that decision to go down towards the rail, and he saved every inch of ground. He's a horse that doesn't do a great deal from the start to the midpoint of the race, but once he winds up, he really does finish strong, and he goes up in trip, so plenty to like about him this Wednesday evening. And the long shot, race 3, number 4, Flying Silver. He's a couple of pounds lower than his last win. James McDonald going on, but I think he might be a bit of a price in that. And the play, race 5, numbers 1, 3 and 5, Act of Faith, Ruby Lot and Talents Supremo.
Another win for Jerry Chow. Casapapa stepping up in trip. He does have a wide draw of barrier number 10, but was running on well last time. Extra distance looks a big plus for him. Turtle again has trialled well. He was a little slow out in that trial, but he's been working towards a win in Class 5 and comes up with barrier number 1 and the play in race 3 at QQP. 1 Darcy Joy, 3 Casapapa and 7 Kairos Unicorn, 1, 3 and 7. The diary about what is upcoming, and the last little box there on the diary, the big one, the Longines International Jockeys Championship at Happy Valley on the 6th of December. Back to Sha Tin before we get there, and of course, Happy Valley this Wednesday night, and then International Day on the 10th of December, Nick, and they have started to arrive, the horses.
They have indeed, yeah. I was almost taken aback when speaking to our producer, Doug, how quickly it's come around, Paul.
Yeah, it's really quick, isn't it? And as you say, the horses are arriving already, so the human participants will be arriving soon. It'll be all on.
They will indeed. Big go before we get there, including Happy Valley on Wednesday night with the first at 7:10.